What's going on, everybody in H-Town, Houston Rockets fans all over the world, whether you're in Texas or no matter where you are, even if you're just a fan of the NBA in general, not necessarily a Rockets fan and just want to be locked into everything that's going on, we definitely welcome you here. My name is David Delano, and this is Rockets Daily, brought to you by FanArch. We'd appreciate it if you go ahead and leave us a comment. Here we read every single comment that you guys drop, and we're going to definitely go ahead and address some of those, and appreciate all the comments as you guys are making that more difficult in a good way, because we're starting to get a lot of comments, and I definitely appreciate all of the engagement. And this goal here is simple: keep talking about the Rockets, get you guys the best content that we possibly can. A lot of different great platforms out there, and hopefully 2026 we're talking about a Houston Rockets championship, and we're going to talk about some things that need to happen if the Rockets want to put themselves in a better position. A lot of things going around in the NBA, a lot of teams making moves to better their situations. The NBA draft going on, a 2-day event. NBA draft, first round on Wednesday, second round on Thursday. Now, following a little bit of that NFL model, breaking it up into more days. And we're going to talk about that now. The Houston Rockets, obviously, in the draft. We'll see what happens trade-wise. Don't have any picks in this year's draft, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Now, first of all, a lot of things going on in the NBA. I know this is Rockets Daily, but it's always a ripple effect in the NBA, so we're going to talk about some of the different things that have happened before the NBA Finals. I mean, the Orlando Magic, Memphis Grizzlies really got things kicked off with a Desmond Bane being shipped over from Memphis to the Orlando Magic, and then our Houston Rockets made a big splash getting Kevin Durant in the deal for 5 second-round picks, Jalen Green, along with Dylan Brooks. And we're definitely seeing more moves coming in. Some things that weren't really as expected, including Drew Holiday going to the Portland Trail Blazers for Anthony Simmons and 2 future second-round picks. And with Jason Tatum's injury, Boston Celtics definitely doing some things to give themselves some future cap flexibility. It's going to be interesting to see what the Celtics do next year, as they also made a move and sent Kristaps Porzingis to the Atlanta Hawks in a 3-team deal. And we saw a trade between the Washington Wizards and the New Orleans Pelicans. New Orleans Pelicans now have Jordan Poole, C.J. McCollum, and Kelly Olynyk, the main pieces, going over to the Washington Wizards. Like I said, those trades don't involve the Houston Rockets, but it's all a ripple effect in the NBA. We also saw Kyrie Irving working out a deal, 3-year deal, about $119 million with the Dallas Mavericks. So what does all this mean for the Houston Rockets? Well, I think right now that the power definitely in the West, the Rockets look like I'd say the second best team right now in the conference, which is an obvious thing to say. Of course, the Oklahoma City Thunder having their entire team basically going to be intact for next season and winning the championship. But the East is definitely looks wide open overall. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Boston Celtics over there, Cleveland Cavaliers. But even with the Cleveland Cavaliers, Darius Garland's going to miss some time early in the season. Halliburton's injury, Jason Tatum's injury, Dame Lillard's injury. It's going to be really interesting what happens over there. And I to tie this into just a Rockets perspective, when we look at Giannis, and I don't think at this point, realistically, many of us are expecting Giannis to come to the Houston Rockets. I don't even think, when you look at this roster and how much the Rockets saved for Kevin Durant, and I think, and it's been addressed in a lot of these comments, we really need to upgrade the shooting still. Upgrading at guard is definitely important. Fred VanVleet, we'll see what happens with that deal. It's taking a little bit of time to get done. Obviously, the deadline is not till, I believe, the end of June 29th, so they have some time. But when we saw how quick the Steven Adams deal got made, Kevin Durant deal getting made before the draft, once this you never want to assume too much, but once we see what happens with Van Fleet, it'll be a little bit easier to kind of dissect what the next move needs to be for the Rockets, and I don't think that Giannis is really that piece, but you never know. When you look around the NBA, is there another contender still? The Spurs, it's draft night. Are they going to possibly do something for Giannis? Stranger things have happened, and I think when we look at all the injuries in the Eastern Conference, and Cleveland right now being the Vegas favorite in the East, but I think that definitely, I don't think any of us really necessarily think that Cleveland's a lock to win the East. It makes you wonder, do the Milwaukee Bucks want to hold on to Giannis and maybe make some moves and think that they can still possibly do something in the East? So I think with the East being so open, this is a trade where if you're looking at, with all these transactions going on, a team that's in the Eastern Conference, especially a team like the Milwaukee Bucks, looking like a piece like Giannis, may be able to be a little bit more patient, maybe even wait until the trade deadline next season before they decide what they want to do, because you're definitely seeing more teams get a little bit aggressive in the West for the most part. And it looks like, to me, Cleveland, Orlando, and the Knicks, even though they have a mess with their head coaching situation right now, look like the teams to beat. But also, don't count out the Boston Celtics. Now, let's go ahead and look at this draft for tonight. And, I don't want to speculate on all the different things that could happen, but it'll be interesting to watch. Toyota Center's having an event tonight. You got tickets as low as $1 for anyone interested in going to that. A little bit of the Rockets already made their big move. Our first round draft pick was basically Kevin Durant, trading the number 10 pick to Phoenix, along with that 59 pick as well. So when you're looking at the draft, it will technically say Houston Rockets on the clock. That's all formalities for now, because the trade cannot become official until July. So the Rockets are going to be picking at 10 and 59 for the Phoenix Suns. But we're looking at the draft right now. Let me know, guys. Do you think that the Rockets are going to do anything tonight in the draft? It's something that I don't want to just completely skip over, but it's hard to really speculate what could happen from the Rockets' perspective. Obviously, Dallas Mavericks are going to take Cooper Flagg number 1. Worked out the deal with Kyrie. If Anthony Davis can stay healthy, Klay Thompson can stay healthy. Dallas Mavericks right now are a team behind the Houston Rockets, but they, depending on how fast Cooper Flagg develops, they could be making some moves. A team to look out for. Number 2, looks like Dylan Harper, son of Ron Harper, out of Rutgers, is going to go second. And at third, it's going to be, I think around third is where things are going to get interesting. You had Ace Bailey, also at Rutgers, who obviously widely reported declined to work out for the 76ers. And a lot of people are linking them to VJ Edgecombe from Baylor. But Daryl Morey usually doesn't pick that high. I think around number 3, the third pick in the draft, is where things could start to get interesting, when you get around to that number 3 before Charlotte gets picked 4th. Now the Rockets, in that trade with Kevin Durant, definitely held on to all future first-round picks beyond this season. So is there somebody that the Rockets want to go ahead and get involved in? I don't expect any big moves from the Rockets. But let me know what you guys think. Any draft predictions? Will you be, and I guess the big thing, is the NBA draft something that you're really interested in this year? I would say as a Houston Rockets backer, it's hard to have a lot of interest in it, but we will see. I do think that there's going to be some big things happen. I think by tomorrow we're going to have a big story around the NBA, and we'll see how it affects the Rockets as far as if one of the top competitors makes a move. And also, looking at things right now, I want to know, as we've had more time for this Kevin Durant trade to really sink in, how do you feel right now as far as if the Rockets are the team to beat in the NBA? As I stated earlier, obviously I think if you're being real about it, it's Oklahoma City Thunder are the team to beat. There's a big shakeup in the East, but really, you got to get to the NBA Finals first. The East is pretty much irrelevant until you get there. And if you can get out of the West, you got a chance to beat whoever comes out of the East. I still think right now, after Oklahoma City, I would say that the Denver Nuggets, I believe, are probably the next best threat to the Rockets. If the Rockets can stay healthy. Minnesota Timberwolves, definitely in the mix. Los Angeles Lakers, I think that we're going to see something big happen from the Lakers soon. I definitely think that they're going to look to make a move to strengthen that roster. I don't think that they're just going to go in the way that they're currently constructed, and I also don't think that the Rockets are going to go in as currently constructed either. And as mentioned, thanks so much for all the comments. Some of the different comments that we had yesterday regarding the Rockets, as we talked about David Marotta, who I think could definitely be a sleeper on this roster. And we did have a comment regarding that Ime must see something in Roddy to go ahead and bring him on this roster. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to the person who left that comment. So that comment coming from my man Brett Dryberger there, and also a lot of some other good comments here. As we had Hal Dunno. Not going to read the whole thing, long name there, but I definitely appreciate the comment. Said we can't never win a championship. We can't win a championship with Fred as the starting point guard or shooting guard. We definitely need an upgrade at that position. Block 316 says, but who else is available? Robert Mills chimes in my thoughts exactly. Which I do agree with. I think that right now what we would like to see happen in a perfect Rockets world, Fred with this 1 year option for $45 million, you'd probably like to see him take a 2-year deal for $50 million. But when you just look at the nature of the NBA, what Fred was already getting, you don't want a guy to feel disrespected or lowballed. Probably Fred. I'm thinking if I'm Fred, he's probably looking for something more in that 3-year, $90 million range. Maybe they could meet somewhere in the middle, maybe a 3-year, $75 million range, which I feel like that is still quite a bit, but not if you can win a championship. And when you look at the way this roster is currently constructed, you could say overpaying, but who else is out there? I mean, obviously, Drew Holiday would have been a nice addition. They got shipped over to Portland. C.J. McCollum, how do you feel about him? Inconsistent. I think that just with the flow of the team, and obviously he just got dealt. It's just with the Washington Wizards, though. You never know what they're gonna do next. But C.J. I don't think would really fit in well with what this team needs defensively and offensively. He's someone that, as talented as he is, he does disappear at times, and I think I would rather just take my chances with Fred right now on this roster. Some other different things that we had a very, very nice, really had a lot of nice comments here. Block 316 also said Trey Young or unlock Reed Shepherd, and obviously, Reed Shepherd being unlocked is going to be very, and that could really make a big difference on what you do with this team next year. I mean, if Reed Shepherd looks like a top 3 pick, gets some more minutes, can step into a bigger role. I mean, this is a guy that shot over 52% from 3 in college. If he can turn more into that type of player, that really checks a lot of the boxes for that upgrade that we need to make at the guard position. And, Fred can start to transition more into that a little bit less usage, save his legs more for the postseason. But if Reed, it still looks like he did last year, which is okay. I mean, he's only 20 years old right now, be 21. That's fine, but as far as we're looking at next year, short term with Kevin Durant on the roster, especially if KD can stay healthy, if Reed cannot take that leap just yet, may be nice for the future, but doesn't necessarily help as much as it needs to for next season. So you don't want to make a desperate move. And also, we've had some really, really nice breakdowns here from J. Sip as well. Obviously, looking at the roster, Jayshawn Tate, somebody that I don't think it basically definitely seems like the odd man out. Of course, David Roddy probably can, I believe, fill that role as a in the backup role here. So a lot of nice comments here. Appreciate it. Keep it coming. I know that right now, NBA Draft Day, we got a lot of big things happening. Obviously, with the Kevin Durant move, and now we're on the NBA Draft Day. And I don't want to say it's a letdown, but I think that tomorrow we're going to have some more interesting things to talk about. Right now, we're in that, waiting for Fred's contract announcement to drop, waiting to see what happens in this NBA draft. A little bit of a holding period, although things are definitely picking up fast, but still stay tuned with us definitely on Rockets Daily. I appreciate all the comments, good, bad, in between. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. You can also follow me on X at Get Sports Strong. I'm David Delano. Usually have at least one XM radio appearance a week on channel 159 and Sports Grid TV as well. So follow me on X. Keep you locked in with all of those things. This is Rockets Daily, brought to you by Fan Arch. Thanks so much for watching. God bless. Let's have a great day.